Hi, everyone. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor, and I hope you're well. This is a reading for all signs, as well as the collective, for the month of August 2025. And the message is bringing the light. And what I mean by bringing the light is bringing the light of your own soul, of your own eternal self. I call on my light. What's the message? I call on my light to protect me, to guide me, to talk to me, to comfort me. All right, so what I'm going to do is I have all the big cards here, and that's going to be, and I'm beginning with Virgo, by the way. And then I'm going to go through all signs in order. So what I'm going to do is do an overall energy, and then I'll use the small cards. All right, let's see. So let's start with Virgo at 110. Let's make it 111. All right, hi Virgo. This is your reading for the month of August. Happy birthday, Virgo. Early Virgos. Okay. The overall energy is the Emperor. All right, so the Emperor is all about stability. The Emperor is all about authority. The Emperor is the divine masculine. The Emperor is Mars. So it's really about delegating and being authoritative. And there's an energy in the Emperor of the buck stops here. I'm in charge. It's my decision, like that. So it's an empowering thing. All right. And my special, whoops, I'm having a special on readings until tonight, and then it's going to go off. So go check it out. All the information is below. So if you want a reading, you don't have to have it today, but if you book it by today, you could say, okay, I want it, next week, or I want it, whatever. And write a message as to what times are good for you and your time zone. Because that gets very confusing. I always go opposite. I think it's 11 o'clock there, and it's actually 1 o'clock, and I'm at 12 o'clock, and it's just so right in your time zone. That would really help me a lot if you want a reading. Okay, Virgo, let's go. Okay, so the overall energy is the Emperor. And let's see what's going on. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Good read. Good cards. Okay. This is how we go. So this is the overall energy, which is about authority, stability, practicality. And then we're going this way. So you get the card of Judgment. Judgment, for me, there's a rebirth going on. There's a rebirth in terms of your spirit. And, I think there's a rebirth as to what it is you want. Getting really clear as to what makes you happy and satisfied. And then knowing when to act on your passion, on your creativity. This is great. There's like a renewal. There's a real sense of renewal with the Judgment card. So you plant the seeds. You plant the trees that you want to plant, right? I plant the trees that I want to plant. Someone says, oh, let's say someone says, oh, you should look for a new job. And, that's not what you want. What you want is to make your house more beautiful. What you want is to work on some new project. It's about your decision. It's about your decision, not what everyone else thinks. That's what I'm really getting. Aha. Toward rebalance. This is really the card of the alchemist. So, and we have 2 angels here already. So that's what it is. You bring in your light. I call on my guardian angels to guide me and to take me to where I need to go. And the alchemist, realign stuff. So it's fine to use stuff from the past, that has worked before or that you're interested in, but now you're kind of bringing in more a sense of intuition, more a sense of like a peace with it. So, maybe it's something that you've worked on in the past, but that you're reigniting. It's nice reading. Oh my. And then you get the sun. You get really clear about what it is that you want to bring in, how to make it fertile, how to make it grow. I mean, you're sitting in a place of gratitude and healing and, taking action in the physical world toward what you want to be resurrected in a creative way, full of light. That's a really beautiful reading. It's a really beautiful reading. Very nice. Well, Virgo, looks like it's going to be good. Hi, Seascape. I'm starting with Virgo this month. Because I started with Leo last time, and, it's August, and August begins Virgo. The 21st, 22nd, I don't know. It's different every year. All right, so we did that. And now we're moving into Libra. And Seascape, I'm doing it the same way that I did last month. So I'm using the big cards for an overall energy signature for the particular sign. And then I'm using the small cards for like the details. That's my new shtick. And I had a guest this week, and he was really lovely. And he gave me this beautiful aventurine. Isn't it beautiful? I didn't know what it was, so I sent a picture to Nancy because I wasn't sure. Is it jade? It's pretty, right? It was really sweet. I'm really grateful. All right. And I hope you're well. Okay, so this is for, now we're at Libra. Libra is at 7, let's make it 7:15. Hi, Libra. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. I'm having a special on readings until tonight. If you're interested, let me know and include your information. Oh, this is a good time for me. I'm in this time zone. That helps because I used to attach calendars. They never work. All right. And this is for the month of August. And the energy is really bringing the light of your soul, bringing the light of heaven, and have it guide you and protect you, give you information. I call on my own light. I call on the light of my soul to guide me. Beautiful. All right. Well, there you go. This is really calling on the light. So the star is really about, for me, the star is this energy of having a new inspiration, having a new direction, having a new goal, a new light. And the thing is, she's in touch with her intuition because her foot's in the water. And then she's kind of bringing it up and then pouring it out onto the earth, through the direction of heaven. Very nice card. Okay, Libra. I shuffled 2, 3. Okay, away we go, Libra. All right, it goes like this. I know for you it would go, well, whatever. That's how I threw them. Giving and receiving, being in a state of balance, being open to receive gifts and being open to bestow gifts. The Hanged Man is this energy of pausing and saying, okay, if my light is guiding me, where have I either given too much or not received enough? And so I sit and I pause. When I say I mean you. I sit and I pause and I say, okay, maybe there's something that I need to let go of willingly, so that I can really be in touch with my creativity and be unblocked. Maybe I give too much to people, or maybe I give too much time to someone, or too much time to something that doesn't serve me, something that uh, is not in balance. Okay. Whoops. Wrong set of cards. I'm not interested in fighting. I don't really want to fight with anyone. I really want to go off into a place that's more calm, that's more where I can receive messages. I need to eliminate maybe negative people, or people who, oh, sorry, or people who want to fight. Because this one is like you can win the fight, but at what cost? So it's about keeping quiet, and like a change in the way of thinking, a change in messages, so that you could be satisfied. I mean, I got this for the last one too, and have a new idea, a new perspective. And I think there's a certain perspective you're going to give up, and to bring in more balance, and to bring in more harmony, more safety, and more fulfillment in a creative way, and not get into a fight with anyone that, sometimes you could win a battle and it's like, well, what's the point? Hi, Liz. Good morning. That's the energy. Okay. That was Libra. Okay, now we put everything back into the right pile. I have other things that I have to do, and there's something that I have to do which is like so tedious. It's like, well, why don't you start with something that you really want to do? So that's why I'm doing this. All right. All right. So next is Scorpio. Let me do a little shuffle. This is for the month of August, and the energy. Oh, let's get the timing. Let's make it 12:20. Hi, Scorpio. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is your reading for the month of August. The energy overall for everyone is bring in the light of your soul, bring in the light of heaven, bring in the light of your angels, ask for guidance, ask for intuitive information. Where should I go? What should I do? Who should I call? Who should I not call? All that. All right, I'm having a special on readings till tonight. And if you book a reading, please put in your information. I'm in this time zone. The afternoon is good for me. I prefer evening readings, and we'll set up something in the schedule. Okay, let's go Scorpio. The Hermit. The Hermit is about finding your light. The Hermit is about really, the Hermit in a way, I mean, it's the card of Virgo, but it's also this energy of going deep within. It's sort of, Scorpio also has that energy. Scorpio make great doctors, because it's like they're going to look and they're going to find and they're going to dig really deep. And that's what the Hermit is really about. It's about going deep within. It's like, what does my light really want from me? What does my light, where am I really being led? And how can I follow that light? Okay. And let's shuffle. Let's shuffle. I should have shaved, but I didn't. My guest left and I already made the bed. I'm ready for the next ones. I mean, I don't have anyone till Friday, but you never know. I could always get a last minute. Just have to clean up a little bit. Do I have other things to do? La 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 la. Okay, Scorpio, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, take the idea that you have and run with it, right? Be confident. And if there's an idea out there that maybe is like someone else's idea and you want to make it your own, then do that. Then do that. Okay, I'm going to show you everything. It feels like you've been sitting long enough. You've been sitting and contemplating it long enough. It's time to act. It's time to act on your messages, on your thoughts. And this is about taming oneself, right? This is about taming oneself. Tame your passion so that it's directed, and that you have to call on your strengths to, like, well, I want to do this, and no, I need to be really directed as to where I'm going, as to what I'm doing, instead of being all over the place, right? There's a sense of focus. Look at this. Everyone's getting this. And I'm shuffling. This is the wish card. So this is about being satisfied, feeling safe, feeling loved, safe, comfortable. Your wishes being fulfilled. Really nice. There's a healing. Receive the gift of healing. Receive the gift of healing. Very nice. This is really nice. And once you receive this gift of healing, you can manifest whatever it is you desire. You have everything you need. The real key here is to focus, because this, I understand the eternity of your soul, right? And you've sat in that long enough. Now it's time to act on the ideas that you have, because you're being led by your light toward being comfortable, toward being healed. And your intuition is very strong this month, very strong. And, this is like, I have to really focus on what it is that I want. And, sometimes we have to call in our strengths, and it's like, well, I really don't want to take this action because it's really like I'm afraid of it, or I don't feel I deserve it, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, take the action anyway, toward your goals, toward your dreams, toward your light. So it's a little bit of a, really focus your energy. Okay, that was Scorpio. Now we go into Sagittarius, and we're going to write down the number. Okay, 1735, let's say. Hi, Sagittarius. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is your reading for the month of August. Bring in the light, call in your light, call in the higher part of yourself to guide you and to protect you and to give you messages and to utilize the information. It's nice to have the information. It's another thing to utilize it. Okay? The overall energy is justice. I wanted to say balance. The overall energy is balance, justice, fairness, clarity. 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 And then we shuffle the small cards to get the rest of the energy. And I'm having a special on readings until tonight. I'm going to take it off at midnight. Go check it out on my site. All the information is below. I have books available to purchase. And I've been doing a lot of readings lately, and it feels really good. And I really love to do readings and to help people to get clarity. I really do. Makes me happy. Makes me happy. All right. And useful. I don't usually do the reading so early in the morning. For me, it's not early in the morning. It's 10:30, but I usually wait till the afternoon. Okay. But it's good to change things up every so often. I was kind of guided. It was like, do it now. Okay. So I'm doing it now. Okay. And I shuffled, as you saw or heard. 1, 2, 3. Wow. There's sometimes you just keep on getting the same cards. All right. It's the ideas and the useful stuff from your family Utilize that and leave the rest behind, right? The things that you learned, the foundational things that you learned when you were a child or in your family business or in the community that you're in, utilize the ones that are good. The other ones leave behind and use them in a creative, magical way that's fair and balanced. You're going to have lots of options. There are lots of options. So choose, the ones that are the most fertile. Choose the ones that are most fertile. And don't get into a war of words with anyone, because that's nowhere. You don't have to fight with anyone. You just have to utilize what's out there and don't get involved in unnecessary drama. And allow yourself, this is also about change, allow yourself to change your mind if you need to. And then you're going to be able to, choose the right idea, the new perspective. A lot of choice going on here. That this is really a card of choice. This is sort of a choice. This is always a choice. This is a choice. This is a choice. So it's like choose your mental attitude and your words really carefully. Really carefully. Don't get in, don't. It's like sometimes people want to like get into it and fight, and it's like I have things to do. I don't really have time to fight. I don't really have time to, be right or be wrong or prove myself. It's like I have things to do, and you know, I don't really want to get involved in a war of words. There's really a lot of that energy going on with this reading. Okay. Next is Capricorn. We write down the time. Let's make it 22. Hello, Capricorn. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is the reading for the month of August for Capricorn. The overall energy is bring in the light, trust your light, call on your light to guide you, to protect you, to give you messages to follow. So first I throw a big card, one of the major arcana. Then I throw the smaller cards. Then I throw the smaller cards to get more of details. And I have to shuffle because I have all the same cards coming up again and again. And I'm shuffling away. Sometimes I think, you should just have 12 decks. Pre-shuffle, and that'll be that. This wanted to fall out. So I'm going to let it. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is really the card of Isis. The High Priestess is trusting your subconscious, trusting your dreams, trusting your, your instinct, your intuition. Okay. That's how we begin, Capricorn. So trust your intuition. Where is your intuition leading you? Where is your intuition leading you? Let's see. Toward. Nice. Toward comfort. This is a really good card. So this is really a card of wealth, and it's a card of attainment of wealth, attainment of the things that you want, attainment of comfort. But she's very, very discerning. She's very discerning. She lives in a walled garden because she chooses to live in a walled garden. And she invites in the energy and the abundance that she wants. But she's very boundaried. She's very boundaried. Okay. Maybe you're going to allow in a new healing or a new intuition, but it's kind of in its beginning stages. But I think like this is almost like the seed that you planted, like maybe a new seed that feels good, and it'll grow. It'll definitely grow, because I feel like once you like name it and claim it and plant it or take some sort of action toward it, or at least have it in your mind's eye, then you have the ability to help it grow and to radiate love upon it. So, but the key here, the beginning, is really the intuitive understanding of it. Really, the intuitive understanding of it. So trust really your intuition, not your head so much. And Capricorn is very earthbound and very practical, but Capricorn also has a real intuitive quality to it. It's a goat fish, so the goat is like the beginning of the story, and it's climbing the mountain, and then it turns into a fish, which is just totally picking up all the energy of the water signs. Hi, Debbie. All right. Yeah. Uh, stabilize your thoughts toward self-love, toward nurturing, toward kindness, toward practicality. So, the thing about the Queen of Pentacles, she's very loving and nurturing and fertile, but she's also really practical. She doesn't overdo it. So the way I like to think of her, or the way I do think of her, and first of all, she's really a card of self-love for me. But let's say you need some new clothes, some new warm clothes, just for an example. She doesn't overdo the budget. Let's say her budget is $300, right? Let's just say. So maybe she finds some really nice ones on sale for $50 each, as opposed to, oh, well, I saw that cashmere one and it had a fur lining and it was 400 and I went over budget and I only have one. She doesn't do that. She buys the 6 for 50, right? So that way she has like an assortment, and she accomplished her goal and she didn't go over her budget. Like, she's her head's on straight. She doesn't overdo it. I'm glad it's not my reading. The best time to plant seeds. Wait, let me finish the reading, and then I get the clarity, and the also the Ace of Swords. When the ace had swords have this double. They cut things out and also bring in new ideas. So it's like, well, that old idea, now that I have a new idea, it doesn't exist. It poof, it just disappeared. It just disappeared. So there's an energy of newness. There's an energy of really trusting your intuition, being really discerning, allowing a new intuitive understanding or a new healing to come in that you can help grow. And you're going to think about it in a really practical way, in a really stable way. Take action on it in a patient, loving, nurturing way, and like make it so, and bring it in. Okay, that is for Capricorn. All right, so the best time to plant new seeds, if you're talking about physically planting, the best time to plant anything new is when the moon is in a water or an earth sign. Water is best, earth is second best. So I have some plants upstairs. I have a lot of plants upstairs, a lot of them succulents. So they're super easy. You just rip one thing off and you just stick it in soil. That's it. That's it. So I have this really, really cool succulent, and it's such a dark purple, it looks black, but it's a plant, and the leaves are like that color, and it's really cool. It's like eggplanty. It's almost like eggplant and red get together. It's really fabulous. And I knew that the moon was in Leo over the weekend for the new moon, and I was like, Leo's not the time to plant. And now it's in Virgo. That's actually why I started with Virgo. And so yesterday was in Virgo. So I took off a piece of it and I took off the other, and I just stuck it in soil because it's in Virgo, I mean, I could have waited till Scorpio, but I didn't. So just check out where the moon is. You could look it up online. Where is the moon in astrology today? But make sure you have the right date, because sometimes they give you stuff from like, different years. Oh, the moon today is in 2023. It's like, no. To make sure you get the right information, because the moon changes really quickly. All right. Next is Aquarius. Okay, let me do the thing. Because I start talking and then I don't write down the number. I hope I can get through all the numbers today. Let's make it 30-20. Hi, Aquarius. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is your reading for the month of August. I am having a special till tonight. All the information is below. So if you'd like a reading, a special priced reading, then you can book that, and you don't have to have it today. As long as you book it, you can say, oh, let's do it next week. And write me. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is usually a good time for me. Don't do it in the morning. Let's do it in the evening, or whatever, and your time zone. All right. And now we're in Aquarius. So what I do, Aquarius, is I have 2 separate decks. Like the larger deck is only the major arcana, and the smaller deck is all the cards. So the overall arcing energy is from the big one, and then the smaller cards are more of the details. That is my new shtick, and away we go. It's really hard to shuffle such a small amount of cards. You can't even really shuffle. Let's see. Aquarius is the Hermit. All right. The Hermit is really about letting your light guide you, and about digging really deep. And it's a solo journey. The thing about the Hermit, it's not about asking everybody. It's about trusting yourself. It's about being by yourself, and digging deep for the light inside your soul to lead you toward heaven, basically. All right. Yeah, I plant during retrogrades, Liz. Oh, no. You have no sound? Hello? Am I still here? Oh, no. Tell me you can hear me. I think because the computer. Okay, good. Yeah, Debbie, so check out your computer. So I'm a little far. I used to have a microphone, but it gives this weird echo. And like I've listened to and it's like, and I paid a lot of money for the thing. It's probably because I don't really know how to, I'm not techie. Okay, Aquarius. Also, Debbie, if it's not working, maybe you can put on the closed caption on the bottom, because that way you could see the words. I don't know what else to say. 1, 2, 3. Okay, same cards. We keep on getting the same cards. Wow. All right, this card has come up 3 or 4 times already. 5. 5s are about change. 5s are always about change, always. So there are a lot of ways to interpret this card. I'm just going to get into this card because it's come up so many times. This is like, there's a couple of interpretations. One of them is like, I could win the fight. But at what cost? There's a verbal thing going on. There's, it's like you can tell someone exactly what you think of them, right? And be right, and then they'll never talk to you again. There's an element of that in this card. There's also this element of, I used to follow another person, like, you would be one of these 2 people in the back, right? You helped the guy win the war, but he was such a tyrant. It's like, I'm done with you. I helped you win the war. I'm going back to the farm. You know, it could be either you being verbally a little too sharp or them being verbally a little too sharp and you walk away. The other thing about this card, sometimes it's like, I decided to like keep my mouth shut and call a truce. Okay? And then, and see what I get is the Hanged Man, which is next. And the Hanged Man is really about a willing self-sacrifice. So it's like, maybe if I keep my mouth shut, maybe if I keep my mouth shut, it'll just pass. Or maybe I don't, do I have to be right? Do I have to express myself at this time? You know, who is it helping? Is it making the situation calm? Is it making it fertile? Or is it just my ego that wants to be right? Okay. Because there's something hidden. There's something hidden. So, you know, I think it's about, maybe the message of the light is to like, let's keep the peace. Let's keep the peace, right? Let's keep the peace and build what we can build, you know? Because sometimes you work with people, and it could be in your family, or it could be, you know, somebody that you're working with, or and they have a certain something about them that, you know, really gets under your skin. You know, for me, I can be like that with everybody. And it's like, let's get done what we have to get done. Let's build what we have to build, right? Not everything has to come to the light. Got me? Because I'm really clear. I'm really clear as to how to make things grow. And I'm really clear about where, this is what I'm getting. I'm really clear when I say I mean you, about where I want to direct my light, about what I want to make grow. So maybe there are parts of the garden, say, that are in the darkness, but I'm going to let them be. I don't have to be everything to everyone. I don't have to, like, you know, it's one thing if somebody asks you for your opinion, but if they don't ask, don't tell them, because it's like nobody wants your opinion unless they ask for it, right? Yeah. Release yourself from, you know, and there might be one or two of you listening to this, right, saying, oh, but you don't understand. I have to tell them. It's like, no, you don't. You don't. In order to keep the peace, in order to make it abundant, full, and lovely, you know. So I think that it feels like this is real opportunity to not give your opinion and to work through it. Even sometimes when they ask, exactly. Exactly. So that's the way it feels. That's the way it feels. It's like, okay, we have a goal, you know, we're going to build something together. And, you know, all this stuff that annoys me about you or them, and like, I'm just going to let that pass so that we can get what we need built. And I'm going to release myself from having to be the one who has all the answers or the one who's right. You know, I'm not going there. I'm not going there because it's not for the benefit. It's not for my benefit. It's not for the benefit of all. You know, and also, let's say you want to get into a gossip thing, right? Let's say you want to get into a gossip thing. So if you're gossiping with somebody about somebody else, then the one you're gossiping to is going to gossip to that, you know, just write it out and burn it, you know? This one, that one, that one, this one. Ugh. It's just nowhere. It starts nowhere, it leads nowhere, it just whatever. All right. Next is Pisces. Pisces is at 3940. Hi Pisces, how are you? This is Jeffrey, this is Ripecolor. This is the energy for August for Pisces. I'm having a special on readings until tonight. So take advantage of it, and then write in the, if you make the sale, if you buy it, the afternoons are good for me, Wednesday isn't good for me, and your time zone. That will help me a lot. I don't have a calendar. I used to have a calendar. It worked. It didn't work. It worked. It didn't work. It's not the easiest thing in the world. All right. And the overall energy is being your light. The overall energy is like trust your intuition, call on your intuition, your guidance, your angels, and your oversoul, and your higher self, to guide you. Feel like we all need a lot of interior guidance. That's the real truth. You can watch whatever you want to watch, but that's the real truth. Is it true for me? Okay, the overall energy is the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is actually kind of a card like that. The Hierophant is really it's the card of Taurus. It's a card of ritual. It's a card of, how do I say it? Tradition of things that are established. Because this is the Pope, basically. And so the understanding, it's all symbolic. So the understanding is like the Pope gets the information from heaven in his third eye, and he, or she, I think it's a she actually, receives like the hierarchy of heaven, and then as above, so below. So recreates it on earth. And that was the understanding of all the ancients, that the high priest or the king or whoever, got the information from heaven and then recreated it on earth. So that's what the pyramid structures are about. That's what, the structures of society are. There's one in charge, and then they have, people who help them out, and they have, certain aspects that they tune into, and then it, filters down. And that's the understanding of that. It's like there's like a higher message coming through about how to organize things. So, it's like, how can I organize this? How can I make this solid and stable and last in the physical world? Got to shuffle. Okay, Pisces. I'm halfway through. I'm more than halfway through. I'm kind of hungry. I didn't eat breakfast this morning. I never eat breakfast, honestly. 1, 2, 3. Wow. All right. I'll show you. So I have 2 knights. Knights are about action. Knights are always about action. So it's like you get the message, and then, it's like, well, I think or I feel that I want to build something in the physical world and get really serious about it, and then I change my mind. It's like, or you begin to do it, and then you realize it's like, this needs to change. I have a new strategy. I have a new way of looking at it. So, because this one really, he acts on his passion. This one is really serious and really practical and doesn't move, and he's in the physical world. But here I have a 10, which is the end of a way of thinking. It's like, that's not going to work. So maybe you begin to build something, and then you realize it's like, this isn't what I want to build. So I'll give you a weird example. So I have a tent upstairs that got completely destroyed. The thing is, I've had 5 or 6 tents already. And they don't last, and I keep on spending money on them, and I really need something to cover from the sun more than the rain, because they all leak, So I have pieces left over. So my plan is to take 3 of these big poles and put them in like concrete, but really deep, and then just get fabric and attach it, and that'll be at the end of it, because that way I can change it more easily. And I keep on buying these tents. It's ridiculous. They look great, but within like the last one I got, I thought it was the most solid one I got, and it didn't last 2 months. And I spent money on it, and it's like, this is stupid. So it's like, yeah, I want to build it, like I'm giving my example. I want to build a foundation, and then I realize like that way isn't working and I can't revive it, so I have to have a new strategy. So be open to having a new strategy and to letting an old way of thinking die. Maybe, you start something, and then as you're doing it, it's like, this isn't going to work. I've got to, move the foundation or something like that. All right. Yeah. And you'll know it in your body. This is the empath. This is you. This is really Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This is like the empath who knows. And the other thing is, she comes at it with a sense of love and compassion. So it's really important. Sometimes you put a lot of effort into something, and you put love into it, and then you realize halfway through, it's like, this ain't going to happen. This isn't going to, and then you switch gears, but in a loving way. It's like, well, I'm really glad that I didn't like put a lot of money and effort and energy into something that I realized halfway through isn't going to happen. So I'm going to love myself through the process and rebalance things and utilize the old to rebalance things and to make things more beneficial, more healing. Yeah, it's about a rebalance. So maybe what I'm getting is maybe there's something from the past that you can utilize or somehow transmute to incorporate into the now. Hi, J-Cat Lady. To incorporate into the now that can become more useful. Because look, I get, these guys, have to sort of make friends, right? This is about balance. This is about balance. Use your intuition, be guided by spirit, and the old ideas that don't work, let them die so that something new could come up. It's very dynamic. All right, so that was Pisces. Now we go into Aries. So if you're new, I'm going through, I'm doing the August reading sign by sign, and I started with Virgo. And so I've gone Virgo through Pisces. I've gone through half of the Zodiac. And now, am I missing one? Gemini, Cancer, Leo. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, good. I won't forget anyone. All right, I'm having a special. Let's start. Aries is at 48:30. Hi, Aries. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is your reading for the month of August. Go check out your rising and your moon sign, and your Venus and your moon and your Aquarius and your Uranus and your Neptune. Yeah, everyone should watch everything. All right. So I'm having a special on readings until tonight, and then at midnight I'm taking off the special. So if you'd like a reading, you can book it. It's all below, all the information. And right in the, if you decide to press the button, oh, this is a good time for me. I'm in this time zone, so we can work out a schedule. All right. So the way I'm doing it is I throw one of the major cards for the overall arcing energy, and then I use all the cards for the details. And that is that. Okay. So this is for Aries. All right. It's hard to shuffle, 20 cards. Ah, the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing. In your favor. Yes. The other thing I feel about the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is like things are changing in your favor because a lesson has been learned. Things are changing in your favor, and things are shifting because there's a certain you incorporated a certain understanding or a certain lesson or a certain experience, and it's almost like graduating. There's this element almost of graduating. It's like, okay, well, I understand that, or I understand it well enough, and now it's time to like maybe utilize the information I got, or to have let go of something that I'm done with, an energy or a lesson, or even a job, an experience, a relationship, a situationship. So it's good. Overall, the Wheel of Fortune is really a card of good fortune. All right, Aries. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay, Aries, you really did let go of something. Okay, I want to make sure you can see the cards. Does that work? Yes. All right, we have the Devil, the 5, and the 4. The Devil is about a false path. The Devil is about living in the dark. The Devil is about like addiction, being, thinking you're tied to something when you're actually not, and thinking, well, if I don't remain friends with this person, then nobody's going to like me. If I don't hang on to this job, without this job, I am nothing, like that. I mean, it could also be as simple as, addiction to like alcohol, drugs, food, spending money, watching YouTube, whatever. But I think there's, you're done with the cycle, and you're done with the chaos, and it wants to call you back. It wants to call you back. It might be, let's say it's a person that, you're on a different plane. There's something, maybe there's a person that you really, you saw really clearly, and they want to call you back. They really want to they want to manipulate you, and you're like, no, no, I'm not doing the same thing again. Nope. No, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Wow. Because I've changed, because I've evolved. You can't go backwards. Yeah. I've decided to bring myself in from the cold. I felt like I was out in the cold. I felt like I'd been not seen. I felt like I'd been abandoned, and that's changing. And so if I feel abandoned by a certain person, place, thing, um, a corporation, whatever, it's like, uh, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm going to look for where the opportunities are, because the opportunities are here in the card. I'm going to look for where the opportunities are, and I'm going to bring myself in from the cold. I'm going to bring myself in from the cold, and I'm not going to rely on what I relied on before, because it doesn't work, and it didn't work last time. Why would it work this time? It's almost like that battered wife kind of energy in a way. Sort of like, well, he cheated. He cheated. But I'm going to go back anyway. Like now you're like, I ain't going back. Just an example. Yeah, because I'm really clear. I'm really clear that I'm loved and I'm nourished, and there's an opportunity for real growth for me. I've become really clear, because what's happened, if you look, this is in the dark. I'm not going back. And it's like, it's twilight here. But here comes the sun to, get really clear about where the nourishment is. you know where the nourishment is, right? And it's not in chaos, and it's not in some gift with a string attached, and it's not in being tied to something that's false. The heartache has led me to the clarity, and I've evolved through it because I'm not picking up the gift. I'm not being involved in chaos. I'm not going back to the dark. And I'm going to look to where the opportunity and the hope is, and I'm going to take advantage of it. This was a really big reading. This was like the heaviest reading I had by far. By far. Okay. You know, you go back and do the same thing, you get the same thing. Oh, but it's going to be different this time. It's never different. You know how that is. Things never change. I mean, they might, you know, the devil can wear a lot of different outfits, you know? So there's a real opportunity for growth here. There's a real opportunity to like to end a cycle, you know, and it could be with people, with a situation, with a job, with a relationship. And then, you know, it could be an interior thing, you know. There's part of you that wasn't, you know, treating yourself right in a certain way. And you become real clear about it. And it's like, I'm done. I'm done. All right. Next is Taurus. Okay, let me write it down. 5640. Let's make it. Hi, Taurus. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is your reading for the month of August. I'm offering a special on readings. All the information is below, only until tonight. It ends at midnight. And I have 2 books available for purchase. Go check them out. All the information is below. I had AI write my little script. It's so much easier. It's like I just give them the bullets. It's like, just write it up. All right. So the way I'm doing it, Taurus, is I'm throwing, I'm using only the major arcana for the overall arcing energy, and then I'm using the entire deck for the details. So let's see what's up for Taurus for the month of August. And the energy, which I haven't mentioned in a while for everyone, is bring in the light, which is really connect with the light of who you are and allow that to guide you, you know, an interior compass. Oh, but this one said, that's nice. What does my soul say? What does my light say? After that, yeah, a new hope, a new inspiration, a new way of seeing things, a new intuitive understanding, being able to utilize the intuition and ground it into the earth. That's her knee on the floor and the ground, and then make it fertile, you know, send rivers out. Okay. And now for the details. And thank you all for joining, and thank you all for staying here with me. And, you know, it's fun to do a live when there are people there. Okay. And I don't know, how about oatmeal for breakfast? That sounds good. I have oatmeal. Okay, Taurus, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, you really want to, okay, here we go. You really want to like rebalance. You know, I feel like you've been through some stuff, and it's like I'm trying to rebalance here, and I'm not really sure of the timing. I'm not really sure of the timing of when to act. But if I sit long enough, if I sit in a state of calm, in a state of, and if I come at it from a place of gratitude and abundance. That's the, because sometimes we act out of fear, out of desperation, out of impatience, and that I think that's the message is like, do it when it's the right time. Do it when you're in a state of calm. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to act from this way. I'm not going to react. I'm going to act. I'm acting. I'm not reacting. I think that's really the message here. Yeah, I take full responsibility for what I'm going to say and do. I have everything I need to begin something new. Now, I have 3 wands here. I have the Ace of Wands, which is really the essence of the thing that makes you. Wands are about instinct and passion. Wands are like the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, the thing that you love to do. Some people cook because they have to, and some people cook because they love to cook. It's like that. I'm doing it because I love it, because it feeds my soul. So I have the Ace, which is the essence of it. I have the King and the Queen, and the Queen is she's very careful about how she moves. She has the right instinct, but she doesn't. She's very focused. The King and the Queen together, it's like, I have to really think this through. I have to really take responsibility for it, and I'm going to, in a balanced manner, in a way that makes sense, in a way that's A comes and then B comes and then C comes, and then there's this energy of like being really clear and like a laser focus. I'm getting like a laser focus. That's what I'm really getting. In a calm manner. In a calm manner. It's good. It's very focused. And I have the Magician. The Magician manifests what he desires. The other thing with the Magician is very oral. The Magician says it into being. So thank you, Liz. So it's this energy of, I desire this, and this is the exact way I'm going to get it, and like almost speaking it into being. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's a very empowering sort of. When you buy something from IKEA, right? They give you those lousy instructions, and it's like, oh, I can figure it out by myself. Well, the thing's going to fall apart in 6 months anyway. So you might as well have it for the full 6 months, because if you don't follow the instructions in order, it's going to fall apart in 2 months. You know what I mean? So like, be like a factory, right? maybe actually, make a decision to buy it from somewhere other than IKEA, so that it'll actually last longer than 6 months. Sometimes I watch, okay, now it's time for Gemini. Okay, 103. Hi, Gemini. So, okay, Gemini, this is the reading for the month of August. Be in the light, be in your light, let your light lead you. How do I do that? You sit and you say, I call on my light for messages to lead me, to guide me, to protect me. That's how. And listen. And listen. And it's like, if you don't really know how to listen, take a piece of paper and begin, right? What does my light have to tell me today? Right? And then just write whatever comes to your mind. Write whatever comes to your mind. Well, I'm making it up. So you're making it up. But I'm telling you, after a while, you're going to start hearing stuff and feeling stuff. It might take a few weeks. So you've got a few weeks. Ah, that's the card. The star again. Everyone's getting the star. Okay. The star is like a new hope, a new inspiration. Messages from above, a blessing, a healing. Great. And now the details. So Gemini. Oh, and I'm having a special on readings. All the information is below. I have books available for purchase. All the information is below. Yeah. Yeah, so Liz, I was saying with the IKEA stuff, it's like I watch these things on YouTube where they redo the furniture. I mean, sometimes they're such a, all they do is paint it, big deal. I like when they really do it. But like that old furniture, it lasts forever. It lasts forever. It's not modern. Well, then change the drawers, change the drawer pulls, and it'll last forever. All right. And it's good for the environment, right? So you have like a real piece of wood instead of whatever that stuff's made out of. Look at this. Wow. Really nice. A new relationship, a new intuition, a new healing. That's abundant and clear and radiant. You've put up boundaries, and it's really good. You really know like the parameter of it, which is really good. You're not living in a fantasy here. You really know the parameter of it. And, it's like I invited in this energy of, say, healing for a specific part of my body or a specific situation. And I've called it in, and now I'm able to like focus the energy of abundance and freedom because I followed my intuition. Toward creativity and abundance and flow and joy. This is beautiful. I'm in charge. It's like what I say goes, that this is a really empowered, clear, illuminated. I mean, look how many big cards I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. And an ace. I know what it is I want to help grow. I'm in charge. I delegate. I'm using my intuition. I'm directing the light of love and creativity toward my abundance, toward my comfort, toward my healing, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. This is the most beautiful reading I got for all the signs so far. Really is. This is, and it's a directed healing, Liz. It's a directed healing. It's very focused. I really get that. I get this. It's a real focus, and it's not distracted. And I'm really getting that. It's not distracted, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. And the intuition is very strong. You get all the illuminaries. You get the sun and the moon and the star. All the illuminaries are here. Very rare that you get all three. And the Empress, who just, everything she touches grows. And the Emperor, who brings in the masculine energy of knowing what to do in the physical world. It's Venus and Mars, in conjunction. The sun and the moon in conjunction. They're very powerful. Very powerful. All right. That was Gemini. Next is Cancer. Cancer is at 110. Beautiful. Hi, Cancer. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is the reading for the month. This is your reading for the month of August, and the overall energy is Bring in the Light. My pleasure, Liz. I'm so grateful to have such a beautiful reading, really, for anyone. That was a beautiful reading. Wow. Okay, Cancer. So the way readings are on sale till tonight. Okay, so if you want to take advantage of a sale, all the information is below. And the way I'm doing these are I only have the majors here, so I throw for an overall energy for the sign, and then I have details in the smaller cards. All right. All right. Away we go. Okay, Cancer. The High Priestess. Cancer, you're known as an intuitive sign, and it's time to like key into that. It's really time to key into that, and to the interesting thing about Isis, which she's Isis basically. That's the way I see it. She knows how to pick up energy from both the dark and the light. She knows how to utilize them both. She knows how to manipulate them both. So it's like, well, I want an intuitive hit. And sometimes, the intuitive hit that you get is sort of like, don't go down that road, or don't get involved with that person. And I think it's really important to honor that, to like, when you get a no, to honor that. I was talking to my friend the other night. He's like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm like, you know what? If you're back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, no. No. Because, I think that when we're back and forth, it's really our intuition and our mind fighting. So better off doing no. All right. All right, Cancer, away we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nice. There's something I feel like that has come to a certain conclusion. There's something that you worked on really diligently, and it's come to a conclusion, and it's done. There's a sense of joy and a sense of accomplishment and a sense of community and a sense of celebration, because you worked really hard and you did what you needed to do, and now that's done, so it's time to move into something new. And that the important thing about the World card is like to know it's done. To know it's like, okay, the period is at the end of the sentence. I don't have to go back. Oh, I have to go back. No, you don't. Okay. Yeah. There's a new sense of foundation. So we got this card again. You're taming you're taming your anger concerning your family or your community, because that's what your intuition is telling you to do. I'm going to throw one more card. Yeah. Now that you've said your piece, and now that you see the situation as it is, I think it feels like with your family or with the community around you, and you've kept your mouth shut, you know what to leave behind. You know what to leave behind, and you're leaving it behind. You're leaving it behind. You're done. You're done. You're leaving it behind. It's like, okay. Okay. Sometimes it's like we keep the peace and we keep our mouth shut, just to let it be, and we send them love. But it doesn't mean, let's say somebody in your family ripped you off for money. Let's just say that, And, you know, you don't want to like call everyone. It's like, it's like, okay, now I know where I stand and I'm never going to lend the money again, no matter what. Oh, but I can't pay the rent. Well, then you can't pay the rent. You know, there's this energy of, you know, you're calling on your own strength to say, I know what went down. It's done. And, and I'm kind of glad to be rid of it. I'm kind of like, I feel, this is what I feel. It feels like there's a certain shedding in a positive way. That's what it feels like. Okay, good, good. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, that's what I get. That's what I get. You really stuck it out today, Seascape. You know, I try to do a different order all the time because otherwise it's always starts with Aries and it always ends in Pisces. And it's like, it's not, you know, it's like, you know, all the signs need their little to do, you know. So like whatever the full moon is next time, I'll start there. All right, this is our last but not least. This is Leo, 116. Let's make it 116. Okay. Hi, Leo. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor, and happy birthday. It's still August. This is the reading for the month of August. And I'm having a special on reading. So if it's your birthday, it's always a good time to get a reading. What's the year look like for me? Anyway, so the way I'm doing it, and I'm having a special, I said it's all below. I have books available for purchase. So the way I'm doing it is I throw only the major, I throw one card from the major for the overall energy, and then I use the entire deck for the, what do you call it, details. So let's see what's going on for Leo for August. The Lovers, very nice. The Lovers are about choice. The Lovers are really, it's about choice. So the Lovers are really about a lot of things. The Lovers, it's really, it's a part of harmony, and it's a part of bringing together duality to live in harmony. So bringing together the masculine and feminine aspects, bringing together heaven and earth, bringing together all the aspects of your light to work in harmony. Nice. All right, and the overall energy is bringing the light. August is really a very special time of light. And there's an energy, and I'm going to do an August 8th. I'm going to do a, what do you call it, Lionsgate. Of, you know, bringing in your own light. And, you know, you're Leo, so your own light really resides in your heart. Nothing else to say there. All right. 1, 2, 3. I have a choice as to the decision to make, right? But I want it to bring me into balance, so I'm going to incorporate the old, because this one is like she has to trust something in her eyes, right? So she has this choice between her heart and her head, and it's like trust your heart because you can't see things for what they are. I get double harmony to bring yourself more into a state of balance, okay? You know, fighting is off the table. Fighting and chaos are off the table. And maybe you have conflicting thoughts on the inside for yourself. So choose the one that works. You know, let the dust settle, like in your own mind. Like let the dust settle, right? And then make a practical decision. Be really practical. Look at it, you know, in a practical way from all angles. And go toward what it is you want. But be really, really practical. So watch the money and your sense of security. So you're going to have to rely on your heart for what your sense of security is, not on outside things. And if something isn't working or no longer works, it might be time to walk away. It might be time to walk away, you know, because sometimes, you know, you could be in a friendship with somebody or a relationship or whatever, and then they betray your trust or something or whatever it is. And it's like, if you don't feel safe, then you don't belong there. If you don't feel safe, you don't belong there. Like that's it. You have to feel safe. If you feel safe, then it's the right thing. But if you don't feel safe, like that's the question. That's what I'm really getting. Like, if you don't feel safe, then you don't belong there. I'm going to throw one more card for you. Yeah, and you're allowed to see things from a new perspective. It's fine. Well, I think you will see. Not you're allowed. You're beginning to have an inkling of seeing things from a new perspective because you're trusting your heart. Because if you know, like the overall message is being the light. The light is what leads you. The light is the eternity of your soul, and it's like I'm allowing my light and my intuition to tell me in my heart where is safe, who I can trust, what I should do, and the more I trust that and utilize that and strengthen that, the more harmonious my life will be. There you go. All right, that was Leo. So now I'm going to throw on the collective. All right, so I have to really shuffle, really, 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 really. All right. So this is going to be for, and I'm going to write down the timing. I wrote down all the times today. I usually miss one. Actually, you know what it was? It was the collective is 12211. Fabulous. All right. Hello, collective. So maybe you have watched another sign and now you're here for everyone overall, and that's nice. So I'm going to do the same formula, which is I'm going to throw one of the majors for the overall energy for everyone. And then I'm going to throw like 6 cards for more details. Now, you could watch your sign, your rising, your moon. And if you'd like a private reading, I'm offering a special $44 until midnight tonight. It is the 28th of July. And yeah, I have books available for purchase. And that's that. All right. So I like to shuffle, shuffle. Hi, Vicky. Well, I hope you got something good in your errands. I hope that you were in the grocery store and said, this chocolate's on sale, or I think I'm going to try these new cookies. That's what I hope. All right. All right. The oatmeal. Yeah, no, I have to one more and then the oatmeal. And then you know how it is. It's like, I'm going to get there and look at the oatmeal. It's like, I can go and get a muffin. Ah, Judgment. Fascinating. Okay. Judgment is the second to last card in the deck. So Judgment means like there's a certain energy that's coming to a conclusion. There's a certain understanding of ourselves as bigger than just the physical world that is coming through for the collective. There's a lot of intuition because Gabriel is here, delivering messages from heaven, and then receiving. This is the reception, right? The justice has this sense of inevitability, you know, of stories coming to conclusions. All right, now let's see what's for everyone. You know what it is? I ran out of granola. So what I do is I usually make a little bit of oatmeal and then I throw granola on top of it. I have honey and I have fruit. But without the granola, it's kind of like a little dull. That's what it is. I mean, I could go get granola too. All right, let's see. Collective. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nice. Wow, this is really nice for the collective. So it's like, here we are receiving messages of intuition, of love, of healing. Lots of stuff coming through. Lots of fertile energy, things that you could use, things that you can plant. And then the diplomat comes, you know, the compassionate one, the one who listens with his heart. Like, that's who's coming through. Really nice. And, you know, so, and then he's going to like delegate, you know, so it's like I get information from my heart about where I should go, what I should do, the information, the fertile ideas that I can, you know, utilize and plant and do, and then I do them, you know, then I like put it in order and make it happen. Yeah, and be confident because you have the high ground. You know, I was telling somebody, and I kind of say this a lot to people, you know, when you get an intuitive understanding or a message or an idea, it wasn't delivered to the wrong door. The universe is super efficient. So it's like, well, everyone else says I can't. Well, then don't tell everyone else. Just do it and then get it done. You know, like it didn't come to you for a reason. So, you know, like your intuition says, I should do this or I want to try doing that. Well, then do it. You know, be confident. Yeah, because that's where the opportunities are. This is a really interesting little one too. He's kind of the student. He is the student, and it's in the physical world. So, and it's new. So, you know, sometimes it's like I get an intuitive thing. Let's say to paint the wall. I don't know. So I paint the wall, and as I'm saying, it's like, well, I'm going to hang new pictures here, and now maybe I'll move furniture. But I'm going to learn something through the action of painting the wall because I followed my intuition. You know, so I'm going to learn and be open to learning things as I move forward. It's a good reading. It's a really good reading. I might throw one more. Get the muffin, exactly. Thank you. All right. There's an inevitability. There's a rebirth happening, a rebirth of intuition, of healing, of spirit, and lots of, you know, creative energy coming through that you're going to be able to utilize. You're going to know how to utilize because you're looking at it through the screen of your heart, and you're going to be able to take action on it and be confident in your action because that's how you learn things. You learn through your action. Have a strategy, act on the strategy. Act on the strategy. It's one thing to, you know, oh, I have this idea, you know, it's like I could have been like, well, I have an idea to write a book. I wrote the book. You know? Oh, well, it's not perfect. Yeah, and then I wrote another one. And I might write a third. I don't know. You know, move on it. There's this energy of move on it, you know, because that Knight of Wands, he moves on stuff. He's not waiting. His passion is ignited. He does stuff. So that's the message. That's the energy. If you'd like a private reading, I'm having a special through tonight. And also, if you get any of the other readings, if you miss this thing, You'll have to remind me. Well, no, I'll send you my books for gratis, both of them. So that's the other. That's like an offshoot special. So that's my story. Blessings. Have a lovely August. See you soon. I'll be back for Lionsgate, and I'll probably do a full moon on the 11th, I think, this month. Okay. Blessings, blessings. Thanks for joining me, and bye.